सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Namaste everybody. In this session of the webinar 61, we are going to look at a Veda mantra, and for a change, this is not from the Vedanta, which is also part of Vedas, as you know. This is from Veda Purva. The Vedas are divided in two parts, Veda Purva and Vedanta. The Upanishads are the Vedanta, and rest of it is Veda Purva. This hymn 191 or Sukta number 191 from Mandala number 10 of Rig-veda is not part of any Upanishad. Therefore, we would say this is from Veda Purva. The Sukta 191, the total section has 4 mantras, but what is very well known is the bunch of 3 mantras, mantras 2, 3 and 4. We are going to see those 3 mantras out of the total 4 in the 191st section, and we shall do some loud thinking on these 3 mantras. The mantras begin with the beautiful words sangacchadhwam, sam-vadadhwam, sam-vadadhwam janata. The Vedic Sanskrit is a bit different at places than the modern Paninian Sanskrit. So sangacchadhwam, sam-vadadhwam, then the last part, sam-vadadhwam janatam. There, sam and janatam go together. Vo manansi sanjanatam. We'll get into these details later. But for now, I would request all of you to hear the artists from Sri Aurobindo Ashram singing this short hymn, Sukta, and let's together listen to it. That was a recitation by artists of Sri Aurobindo Ashram. Another artist started singing. All right. Give me a moment. We'll play this again at the end with more volume. Probably the volume was low at this moment. So there are these three mantras, and the mantra 1, sangacchadhwam, go together or assemble, come together. Sangama is getting together. Sam-vadadhwam, speak together or speak in one voice. Tamvo manansi janata. Here vaha or wo means your in plural. The minds of all of you may be in one accord. And an example is given from time immemorial when sacrifices are conducted and offerings are made to a number of gods. All of them come, all of them take whatever is allotted, whatever is offered to each in great harmony with no discord. Likewise, when we human beings come together, work together, is the suggestion here in this mantra. Samano mantra tamiti samani samanam manaha saha chittamesha samanam mantram avimantrayevaha samanena vo avisha juhomi is the second of the three mantras. We shall go into meanings of each line after making a reference to the third one at this time. Samani va akutihi samana hridayani vaha samanamastu vo mano yatavaha susahasati. So you find the word samana coming a number of times in these three mantras, or without that word samana, the upasarga or preposition sam comes several times. Now let's go to actual meanings. These meanings in these slides are taken from Sorry, there was an interruption. These are from a translator known as Griffith. Sangacchadhwam, assemble. Griffith puts it as assemble, come together, don't go in different directions. In modern management, they talk a lot about synergy. In teamwork, they talk about working together or having no differences, which doesn't mean we become like machines. What is of course meant is sort out your differences, come together, talk to each other, do not be caught in some kind of narrow-mindedness, do not presume things, check, double check with each other, and of course, in some rare cases, when the values or the dispositions are totally irreconcilable, then of course, no Shastra, no science asks any group to stay together just for the sake of staying together. But the optimistic and the positive attitude here is 7 out of 10 times, if not 8 or 9, the differences are because of presumptions, because of certain preconceived notions or imagination. You imagine the intentions of the other party to be something, while actually it may not be. Or even if they have some intentions which are not agreeable to you, by talking over to them, probably they will get a new perception of the whole scenario and they will change. So it is all about removing what can be removed, doing what can be done, and not just superficially looking at things and staying aloof and apart. Sam-vadadhwam, speak together. And then samvo manansi janata. Let your minds be of all of one accord. Let your minds be of one accord. That is, let thoughts come to agreement. Remove all disagreement and disharmony. And as we said before, Deva bhagam yatha purve sanjanana upasate. As ancient gods unanimously sit down to their appointed share. The appointed share is bhagam, the third part, and sit down is upasate, and purve is ancient in the hoary past, and of course to this day too. Wherever yajnas, homas, havans are conducted, the gods come and take their parts, take their share, with no discord, disharmony between them. We'll see a little more a bit later, going to that great traditional commentary by Sayanacharya. In fact, Griffith has given these meanings after studying Sayanacharya's Bhashya on the Rig-veda Mandala 10. Just as Adi Shankaracharya for the Advaita Parampara is the highest authority on Upanishads, here Sayanacharya is the authority on the Veda Purva. We'll see some glimpses of Sayana's Bhashya too today. Then, the second mantra. What is meant by Samano Mantraha? So, Mantraha has many meanings, and one of them is where people come together and discuss. Let us come to one place. the place is common. And samiti. Samiti also is the assembly. Samiti samani. Let all of us come together and form an assembly where there is a sense of we are one now. We are here to sort out our differences. Emphasizing that spirit, time and again, the Rishi of this Sukta declares, addresses Yamas are those and then the perform those who praise gods, who praise the ritual. Just as I often compare Vedic rituals with some grand events in these days, there are many going on. One of them could be the Olympics. Or a second example could be a great test match. There are players, there are umpires, there is audience. There are different components of the grand show. And in Vedic ritual, in Yajna, Yaga, similar is the case. So here it is said, the second quarter of the second mantra, Samanam Manaha Saha Chittamesham. Common the mind, and so their thought united. So Manaha is later Sayana gives a little meaning to. Rishi is speaking to a bunch of Adhvaryus or Ritvijaha or Yajamanaha or Stotaraha, the priests or the owners or the main people in whose name the yajna is being conducted, or even devout, faithful members of the audience who praise the gods. They were thought be united. Samanam mantram abhimantraeva. And the rishi or the leader says, I lay before you, I place before you a common purpose. See, the word mantra has yet another meaning, purpose. Earlier it was place, some other place it is counsel, some other place of course, as in these days the word mantra is well known in religious spheres, mantra to be recited. Samanena vo havisha juhomi. I worship with your general oblation. I offer an oblation, juhomi. In fact, the verbal root in juhomi, who is behind homa also. I conduct the homa, I offer this havis. Havisha, literally with the havis. Actually, it is I offer the havis. Havis is the object, havis is the oblation. Havis is what is offered, like ghee or charu puroda shadi, it is said. There are certain materials which are offered into the fire. Once more, let me remark that the context of the Vedic ritual can then be extended to all human endeavors. Ivan Covey, the Western management guru, writes long pages on synergy. In fact, he talks about moving from dependence to independence and not stopping there, going further up to interdependence. Interdependence is where synergy comes up. Rather than everybody trying to do the same thing, they share. They share the talents, resources, and contributions of different people. Therefore, that is the working for the common purpose and where minds come together. Third mantra, Tamaniva akuti. So one and the same, be your respective one and the same be your resolve. Akuti could be also intention, or here it is sankalpa, resolve. Imagine people traveling by a boat and different people want to take the boat. They move the oars, they row the boat, trying to take the boat in different directions. What a terrible scenario it would be. Rather, here, one and the same be your resolve. All want to go to the east, go to the east. All want to go upstream, go to upstream. All want to go downstream, go together to downstream. Don't try to take the boat in different directions. Once more, samana hridayaniva. Here is another example of Vedic Sanskrit. Today we would say samanani hridayani. Someone like Bhashyakara Sayana clarifies. Samana stands for samanani. You should adjective should match the noun. Hridayani vaha. Vaha again is your. Vaha, wo means your. Samanamastu vo mano. United be the thoughts of all. Yatavaha susaha asati. When I was learning in Sanskrit grammar, I remember 3 decades ago, a fellow student asked, if pat becomes patati, why doesn't us becomes asati? You know, in modern Sanskrit, us to be becomes asti, whereas pat becomes patati. So my fellow student who didn't have much Sanskrit background, he once asked me, oh, this is very complicated. Pat becomes patati, as should become asati. Why is it asti? Here in this mantra, in Vedic Sanskrit, susaha asati. In fact, asati has the meaning of asti. Asati here has the meaning of bhavati. I wish I knew this when that fellow student had asked me. I would have said, yes, in the Veda at one place, us does becomes asati. But later, Panini and Sanskrit makes us, which belongs to the Dvitiya Gana, second conjugation, and it doesn't go patati patataha patanti, rather it is asti staha santi. And though some people may look at it as complicated, actually it is this variety, it is this diversity that brings much greater charm, much greater beauty to Sanskrit language. A bit of hard work, a bit of memorizing would of course be needed, but then you enjoy how sweet and how multi-splendored it is. All right. So, what is yatava susaha asati? Susaha means shobhana, beautiful, happy, and asati means bhavati. May all your thoughts, may all your emotions be happy, be good. That is the wish with which the Rishi concludes this prayer. We will now see a little of, where did it go? Just give me a moment. Here. So it's going to sangacchadhwam sam-vadadhwam sangacchadhwam. According to Sayana, the Rishi or the leader of the group addresses the Stotara. Stota means those who praise the gods. All of you, yuyam sangacchadhwam. And then sam-vadadhwam. Parasparam virodham parityajya ekavidhameva vakyam bhuta. See how the ancient Vedic commentators looked into human psychology. Parasparam virodham santyajya. Give up your virodha, one trying to cut the other, like it happens in politics and sometimes in very bad forms of politics. It is if it is true, go for it, whether it is said by your team or the opposite team. If it is false, reject it, whether it is said by your party or the opposition party. Parasparam virodham parityajya ekavidameva dhruta. And then manansi sanjanatam samanam ekarupameva artham avagachan. This is a prayer, this is a wish. It's easier said than done, agreed. But the wish is, may all our minds understand the matter. There are controversies sometimes, there are ambiguities, there are sometimes differences of opinion on an issue. Your prayer is, please be receptive, be calm, be open, and facilitate a process where you will then be thinking in the same way. Eka rupam artham avagachantu. And then yatha purve puratanaha devaha sanjananaha. Again, what is this sanjanana upasate? Sam plus jananaha. Jananaha means again knowing or understanding in the same way. Aikamatyam praptaha avirbhavam upasate. This is pretty simple. Let's go to the next mantra. Samano mantraha samiti samani. Yes. Ayanacharya takes mantra as mantraha is stuti. Shastradhyatmaka gupta bhashanam va. So mantra has many meanings. I earlier pointed out. Samano mantra samiti samana samani. What is samiti? Samiti is prapti, attainment, obtaining. Samani ekarupa astu. Then samanam ekavidam api astu. Now the word manaha, if you take a look at these mantras again, the word manaha comes several times. Therefore, each time the word manaha comes, a new meaning is given because it does have many meanings. Manaha here in the second mantra means manana sadhanam antakharanam esham samanam ekavidam api astu. So manana sadhanam is the instrument to reflect on the meanings of the Vedic revelations. Apply it to your situations. There are rules, there are guidelines in companies, in organizations, there are bylaws, the laws of the land are there. Everything one is capable of reflecting and arriving at the right meaning. So, Vandana Sadhanam. Therefore, the primary context could be a Vedic ritual or Vedic studies, but secondarily, which is equally valid, it could be various scenarios of human life. Samani Chittam Esham. I said Esham means of these people, which refers to you only. Then Samanam Mantram Abhimantraye. Aham Vishnakum Ekavidam Mantram Abhimantraye. And that is explained by Sayanacharya as Aika Vidyaya Sanskaroni. The guru, the leader, the rishi decides and performs rituals on his part or her part, let me say, for the whole group to have harmony, have unity. And it is not just recitation, it is offering oblations into the sacrificial fire, once more the primary context. And in our applied context, you and I should not just be talking in meetings, we should do things. As the expression goes, walk the talk. Talk in favor of harmony and walk the talk, do things in favor of that very harmony. Therefore, the word juhomi is described by the traditional commentator Sayana, Vashatkarena havihi prakshepayami. Saying Vashat, I offer the havihi or the oblation. Though it is havisha, it is more in the sense of object. Those of you who know a little grammar know that object requires second case, karma. That is what Sayanacharya spells out. Karmani karake tritiya. Tritiya havisha is karmani, because havis becomes the object. The third mantra has a less known word, akuti. Tamani va akuti. Tamana hridayani va. And what is the meaning that Sayanacharya gives for akuti? Sankalpaha and adhyavasaya. Two words he used. Griffith took the meaning of sankalpa, resolve. Even these days, some of you may be doing pujas, worship. At the beginning of the worship, you say, Om Namo Paramahansa Shri Parameshwara Prityatvam, etc., etc. Desha, Kala, all are mentioned. And then, keeping certain object in mind. For example, for all the family members to enjoy good health. Sarvasya parivarasya uttama swasthya siddhyartham imam pujam karishye. That is the sankalpa. So here, sankalpa, resolve, adhyavasaya, determination. May all of us have the same single determination or resolve. Akuti thus is resolve. Samana hridayaniva. The Veda mantra has samana. Instantly the Bhashyakara gives the Paninian modern Sanskrit word samanani. Samana, samanani, ekavidhani santu. Then here he says Ratvig Yajamanaha. The prayer is addressed to Ratvijaha, the priests, and Yajamanaha, those who are organizing or who are sponsoring, who are doing it for their benefit. The priests are the technical people who come and do it, and they accept dakshina and so on. Then samanamastu vo mano yatavaha susahasati. Again, vo once more means yushmakam pratyaksha apekshaya ekavachanam. See, the Bhashyakars go into fine details. When it is vo plural of all of you, why is manaha singular? It should have been manansi. First mantra had used the plural, sam vo manansi janatam. But here some vo manaha. And it is said, because all of you are one group now, pratyeka apekshaya ekavachanam. Each of you has one mind or not. All of you have many minds, but each of you has one mind. So pratyeka, taking everybody, let everybody's mind come together. Such is the structure of language here. Let's not get much lost in language, but we are interested in the basic meanings, not to do any hair splitting further. Last part is samanam samanamastu vo mano yatava susahasati. Susaha is shobhanam. Susaha. Shobhanam sahityam. In fact, susaha has two parts, su and saha. Su stands for shobhanam, saha stands for sahityam. Your material, your knowledge, your repertoire, your samagri, what you have, what you do with what you have. All this, let it be shobhanam, let it be good, asati, bhavati, yatha. So in this way, the meanings are given. So now let's summarize. All said and done, what does this mantra stand for? This mantra is for human beings on any level, family, village, organization, country. For living harmoniously, which is not to be done just by wishing, but by working upon it. As we always say, it is a blend of human effort and divine grace. If we just say, oh, it's all God's will, and we just keep quiet, that's wrong. And if we become so egocentric, that, oh, it's all in our hands, there is no God, no higher intelligence, no higher power, that would be another error too. We need to work and make our minds more and more pure and receptive, clear and straightforward. Then divine grace also will fill us, will uh, come in our life. Now, I'll play this once more. It will take 3 minutes, and this time I hope it will be louder. Sangacchadhwam, sam-vadadhwam, Some noise is coming. Okay. We made an attempt at explaining this mantra. What is this noise? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
And is there some noise at your end also? There's a lot of noise here.
No, it's not here. Earlier it
Oh.
was not completely silent.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I invite questions. Please do ask or make any comments if you will.
Swamiji, there is one raised hand.
Right. Let me check. Yeah, it is Prasad Deveva. Yes, Prasad ji, can you please ask your question?
Hari Om Swamiji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
So another great talk, and I was thinking of your comments and relating to management and current organizations, and also on Stephen Covey's thought. So a lot of what you said really seems to be emphasizing alignment.
Yes.
In many things, alignment in the people, alignment in the place, alignment in the thoughts, in the mind, everything. So I just want to share something that I heard at some training seminar that I went more years than I can remember, 30, 40 years ago. So we often talk about when people come together, you go through various stages, and then that's how the synergy builds up. So what I've heard, and I want to share with you and others who are listening, is the 4 stages of first is forming. You kind of like what you talked about, assembling in one place and getting together, and so that they call it the stage of forming. And the second is a norming. So what are the rules? What are the procedures? What are the common purposes and all of that? So how we conduct the common vision and all that. So you go, that is norming. So you need an agreement on that before you can go to the next stage. And then you have input from everyone and a healthy discussion to achieve that alignment. And that they use the word storming. So, forming and norming, storming. Obviously, this is kind of a aid remembering. So they use the word storming, and of course that goes with the popular practice of brainstorming. So there is so not holding back anything, and as you receive input from others, you also give all that you have to offer. So that is what brainstorming is all about. So you have forming, norming, storming, and then when all of these happen, and then you're with synergy and alignment, and then you have performing. So that is the last stage. So this is not my own, but this is what I heard many years ago. But it made an impression on me, and I thought it may be of interest to you.
Excellent. It goes so well with this Veda mantra. Yeah. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Welcome, sir.
Let's see if someone else also has. Oh, there is another hand here. Krish. Yes, Krish, you perhaps want to share something? Go ahead. Yes, I think I have enabled your mic. Can you speak?
Yes, Swamiji, not to share, but to request your teaching. In a way, for us in this modern world where we are spread so far apart geographically, the only yajna that we see is coming together with you on Sunday mornings. You see what I'm trying to say? The alignment is here, and that we're requesting your teaching on that. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Yes, Pejawar back in action. Yes, Mr. Pejawar.
Yes, Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om.
A practical application of this could be any so-called units, right from the family units or even a group of friends to a community, to a state or even a nation. Basically, it is applicable as to achieve that. These are the 4 steps, right? You have to have a unity of purpose, unity of action, and unity of thought. And basically, they have to agree, and that requires some interactions and discussions, give and take. And
very well said.
Even applicable in very small units, even as small as families, but as large as nations. Yes, that's the practical application.
Can you repeat those 3 things? Unity of purpose,
unity of thought, unity of action.
Great. Yeah, I just noted here. Yes, that's so true. Purpose, thought, and action. Correct.
And then, that common purpose is achieved through action.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So wonderful, Pejawar. Wonderful.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you. So then, not able to enable that microphone. Can organizers do that?
Yes. Purna Rao. Yes, Purna Rao wants to ask question.
Now it got enabled. Okay, I was not able to enable it. Yes, go ahead, Purna. Yes.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
The prayer was simply beautiful and very inspiring. There's a question I wanted to ask you. You see, the prayer says a harmonious thought should be in our minds, but it doesn't specify our identity of what is this harmonious thought. What kind of thought should we be having when we say this prayer? or recite this mantra. And the three mantras have a lot of meaning, but we are aiming towards a certain goal of peace or whatever it is, Swamiji. If you could help us in that, it will be wonderful.
Right, right. So that is to be understood in this way. After all the Vedas are meant for the Purusharthas, Artha, Kama, Dharma and Moksha. And the emphasis finally is on Dharma and Moksha. Artha and Kama are certain urges, certain necessities, certain requirements that are acknowledged. Vedas never turn a blind eye to our need for wealth and comfort, security, that is Artha. The Vedas never say don't enjoy, that is Kama. So there are at different stages of our life certain needs. So these Artha and Kama are acknowledged, endorsed, respected, but the Vedas say go for them in the context of or within the framework of Dharma. Now to come to the answer of your specific question, when the Vedas say, may all of you have one thought, the urge or the thrust is on the voices of adharma might subside and all come to dharma. The voices of, wherever there could be damage, wherever there could be weakening, like Swami Vivekananda said, strength is the message of Upanishads. So you and I find that individually, as a family, we again and again come to crossroads where doing certain things would weaken us and doing certain other things would strengthen us. Therefore, you may say again, I'm talking in very qualitative manner. Yes, philosophy puts everything in a qualitative way, but in specific, quantitative, concrete forms, you have to take particular situations. For example, now there is the demonetization debate. Now, putting aside your general sympathy for BJP or Congress, Marxism or some other left or right or whatever, if we go about the matter with no bias and keep the whole country's well-being in mind, that would be what this mantra is asking for. The mantra is asking us, all of us come to a viewpoint which is for the country, for truth. In my talk also I said, don't go for this party or that party, go for what is true, what is beneficial. So lastly, I would quote a line from Bhagavad Gita in the context of speech. Chapter 17 says, anudvegakaram vakyam satyam kriya hitancha. 4 criteria are given. What is true, satya, what is hita, beneficial, what is priya, pleasant, and what is anudvegakara, non-agitated. In all issues, can we find what is satya, what is priya, what is hita, and what is anudvegakara? That would be the direction where these mantras are urging us to. Rest of it is details. Details have to be worked out, and there are lots and lots of principles, guidelines given. We'll have to use them in every situation.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. It was a very good clarification. Now I've understood this prayer now from that point of view. Now the only question I wanted to ask is, do we put family first or country first in this prayer? What do we put first, I mean, in this harmonious thought?
Actually, going situation by situation, there are some situations where the country is not in picture at all. It is just family and me. Suppose it is family and me, then one will have to go for family, provided one's most basic needs are not violated. See, when one's most basic needs are in question, nothing else stands before us. But otherwise, if things are rather equal, then family is above the individual, the village is above the family, country is above the village, and then moksha, that is the highest goal of life is above everything. There is a Subhashita to that effect. When Prince Siddhartha gave up his country, his family, his child, because he was aiming at moksha. He was not going for another family. Therefore, there is a Subhashita, I'll cover it in some other time. At the end it says, Svatmarte sarvam tyajet. So, there is a shloka. So, to summarize, in a given situation, everything doesn't come in. Typically, it is between two interests. Like suppose husband and wife are fighting, it is husband's interest and wife's interest. The others, father and son are fighting, it is between them. So in that we have to see what is the larger interest, what is the smaller interest, and as I carefully added, if there is any basic need as part of the issue, you cannot ignore it.
Thank you so much.
Always. Welcome. Okay, maybe one last.
Yes, Peter, can you hear?
Yes, I'm here. Can Swamiji hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
once
hear?
you start.
Yeah. Hari Om Swamiji. This
Very
is
well.
just an additional thought. What was discussed right now, I think my favorite way to remember that as an incentive to do this approach is summarized by Jefferson,
Okay.
the Civil War. He said, either we can all hang together or hang separately. And that means there is a common interest. And if they don't come together with certain approach, they're all going to die separately anyway. So this is a overwhelming need for a common interest. And that is
yeah, he put it so nicely. So
just I wanted to add that.
just say that sentence again. We can all
Come together. We can all hang together or hang separately.
I see.
That he meant either we can stick together in a group and fight, or we can, fight individually and lose every battle, and will be hanged by the enemy separately anyway. So whereas hang together, it is the unity lies strength, and that's
Wonderful.
That's all I wanted to add. Yeah.
Okay. With this, let us conclude. Let's hope to take more Veda Purva mantras once in a while, and both Vedas, that is Veda Purva and Vedanta, the Upanishads, both are very valuable. Both complement each other, and we need to the extent possible, work in both the areas. Om Shri Guru Namaste.